Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and considering today and which day it is, so-called Thanksgiving, I'd like to go into some of the origins of Thanksgiving. And so here we've got the Pequot Massacre. And this is one of the many massacres that is considered to be at the origin of what we now call Thanksgiving. And so this is from the Zen Education Project. And it goes into the Pequot Massacre. It says, a pre-dawn attack on Mystic Fort that left 500 adults and children of the Pequot tribe dead. And in some other estimations, I've seen 700. It says the Pequot Massacre, or the Mystic Massacre, was the first defeat of the Pequot people by the English in the Pequot War, a 3-year war instigated by the Puritans to seize the tribe's traditional land. And sounds very similar to what's going on in the land of Palestine right now, a war instigated by the oppressors to gain control of the land. And we say that because of the natural gas deposits found in Palestine, and they're just pretty much going in there to take that land to use for themselves. But back to the article. It says the Pequot War is described in the New Young Reader's version of an indigenous people's history of the United States. Here's a brief excerpt. Pequots were living in 2 forts. In one fort were mainly Pequot men, and the other were primarily women, children, and elders. Mercenary John Mason targeted the latter, so he went for the women, children, and elders. And that's the MO of the Edomites. When we came out of Egypt, Amalek smote our hinder parts, which were mainly the elders and the women and children. And again, you see this here, because these people calling themselves Puritans, they're actually biblical Edomites, children of Esau. It says slaughter ensued because these are bloody people. It's a bloody man, the violent man. So after killing most of the Pequot defenders, the soldiers set fire to the structures and burned the remaining people there alive. Show no mercy to him that showed no mercy. It's as though the Puritan slaughter of the Pequots was devastating. They continued to fear retaliation by the surviving Pequots, who had sought refuge among neighboring nations. The fear was so great that they destroyed Pequots' remaining homes and food supplies and forced them to leave their homelands. This gruesome defeat marked a turning point in the war, which the Pequots and their allies had been winning for 8 months. The war also had the goal of enslavement, as described in America's other original sin, Enslate. And some people try to say that the Northern Kingdom, that being the so-called Native Americans and Latinos, didn't go into slavery, but it's telling you right here that they did go into slavery on boats, on ships. Or it's not telling you ships, but they did go into slavery on ships, just like the Southern Kingdom. It says, during the Pequot War, which was initially instigated by struggles over trade and land among the Europeans, the Pequot and rival tribes, colonists explicitly named the procurement of captives as one of their goals. Soldiers sent groups of captured Pequot to Boston and other cities for distribution, while claiming particular captured people as their own. So, showing their slavery, their captivity as well. And then it says, below is a photo of the site of the Pequot Massacre today. It is one of the images in a series by photojournalist Andrew Lichtenstein of unmarked locations of historical significance. And so there's the site right there. It makes me think of that Joni Mitchell song, where they paved paradise and put in a parking lot. And Esau came over here and he slaughtered and massacred our people. Gad in particular, Gad being the Native Americans. And they just put in all sorts of concrete and parking lots and buildings. Paved paradise and put in a parking lot. But yeah, that's a quick summary of what happened. And I forgot to say that they actually used other Gadites in this circumstance. It was the Mohegans, and they used them to go against the Pequots as well. So they've always been turning our people against each other. But now in the latter days, we're seeing the Lord turning Esau against Esau. And in a lot of cases, Esau, with his tongue falling on himself, is actually helping us in uncovering the crimes and the violence in which the Edomites have done. And it's all going to go against them. It's Satan versus Satan right now. So let's get into the scriptures. We will start off with Amos 5 and 21. Because as the scriptures say in Genesis, I believe 49, that Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he will overcome in the last. And these people out here, mainly the 2/3, as well as everyone else, is celebrating Thanksgiving, but not knowing the origins of it. They're just out here celebrating Gad being overcome. And so this is Amos 5 and verse 21. I despise your feast days. Because these people are celebrating feast days, holidays that they have no idea the origins of. And a lot of them actually do understand the origins, but they continue to celebrate it and try to claim ignorance, but they're just wicked, celebrating a massacre that overcame your people. It says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. And so these people think they're giving thanksgiving to the Lord, but in fact he hates these days. He hates all of Edom, all of their ways, all of their holidays, everything that they do. The Lord hates it, and the Israelites, you 2/3, are joining in and putting yourself into the congregation of them that are hated. And you're going to taste his destruction too if you don't come out of it and repent and come back to the Lord. Let's go to Lamentations 4 and 21. Because the Lord's going to change all of this around. These things that the Edomites have gloried in and made holidays and feast days about. The Lord's going to change it on them. He's turning all these things into shame. That's why we're even speaking of the Pequot massacre, because these are shameful acts that the Edomites have put forth. And eventually he's going to bring you down. And that day is soon to come. It's near. It's Lamentations 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Edom being the self-proclaimed white people, including these small hatters, the 1948ers. They're at the head of it. It's telling them, rejoice and be glad. Give thanksgiving that the Lord put you in this high position, way loftier than you should ever be allowed. That dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, that cup being the cup of these curses written of in Deuteronomy, and all of the nastiness that comes with it. It says, thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked, expose thyself. And that's happening through their tongues falling upon themselves, and they're giving out all of these things that they held secret, all of these massacres and the great violence and the great destruction that they have done. He's exposing them. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. That being the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as our scattered, who are going to come looking like the other nations. It says, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And the Lord is discovering them. These people are being found out to be the devil of the Bible, the Edomites. And we'll end it here at 1 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 33. Because we're going to have a new day of thanksgiving when the Lord casts these people down. So it says, cast them down with the sword of them that love thee. And they that love thee, love the Lord, are the Israelites. And so he's going to use the Israelites to bring down the Edomites. This is, and let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving. And so this goes back to the time of the Maccabees and the Feast of Dedication, and them casting down the Edomites in that time during the Greek occupation. But there's no new thing under the sun, and this is going to occur again. And we're going to give many, many thanksgivings for the Lord taking down our enemies through us. Because now we're prophesying and doing the fishing, trying to wake up the elect. But eventually he's going to turn those fishers into hunters and pull the wicked out of rulership. And Yahushua is going to come and get his revenge, his vengeance. But this will all be done through the Lord. But first, we have to have that MOTB to be implemented around the world. And then everything will begin to fall. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.